are now more real than ever. We are facing the challenge to make all these systems cooperate smoothly, and we are pretty good at it.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you had a good lunch, and welcome then to the software and system station. My name, let's see, do you all use the channel 2? Is that working? Okay, good. So you hear me, and good. That means also that you will be able to hear each other later on the Q&A as well. So my name is Henrik Henriksson. I'm the CEO of Scania, and I'm also one of the board management members of TRATON Group. And at Scania, we have a purpose as a company to drive the shift towards a more sustainable transport system. It is a purpose that is deeply rooted into our values, to the DNA of our company. And it's something that we believe is going to be important for the future to stay relevant as a company. We want to drive the transformation to a more sustainable transport system. And one of the driving forces to be able to do this is, of course, to work with innovations. Innovations as presented today at the Scania Innovation Day. And talking about innovation, the backdrop behind me is this vehicle. It is the brand new Scania NXT. This is a vehicle that is really personifying innovation. And the uniqueness with this vehicle is actually the flexibility that it provides. And I would like you to put your attention to the screen here, where we can sort of share and we can show how the flexibility of this vehicle is used in a city. So it's basically a vehicle that can move people during the day in the rush hours. They can then use the same carriers, the same drive units, and the same technology platform to put on a body for cargo or for waste and recycling. So a vehicle platform that can do 3 different tasks, but within the same platform. And that creates, of course, flexibility. We believe that sometime in the future, mayors of cities will not allow too many different kinds of vehicles coming in uncontrolled into the cities. Of course, this is a vehicle also that has an electrical platform. It is a fully electric vehicle. As you can see, it's fully autonomous. It doesn't have a driver place. And of course, it's designed to be the future of mobility in the cities and attract, like Daniel will come into later on, people to park the car and go into the bus. This vehicle is also around just over 8 meters long, but it has the same passenger capacity as a 12-meter vehicle because of the unique layout of the vehicle. Robert, who's standing over here, is the father of this project. So if you have more details, questions, please talk to him. But this vehicle is not only hardware. I would say that most of the effort we put into Robert and Klaus, who's sitting here as well, head of R&D at Scania, in the work of this vehicle is software. It's software and systems, which is the name of this station. And to help me in this, I have Joachim Jimholt, who will join me now, who is the head of electrics and software at CTO office here in Södertälje. So welcome.
Thank you, Henrik. I'm pleased to be here together with Henrik and present this station to you. I will guide you through this one, and I particularly look forward to the questions that we will get in the end of this session.
Good. Thank you, Joachim, for joining me. So Joachim, head of electrics and software. So talking about electrics and software and systems then. So if we try to describe why is this important for innovation and why it is important for a group like TRATON. Yes, of course, this is about, in the broader perspective, the digitalization of the transport system as such. Digitalization will probably be the most powerful tool with software and systems as an enabler to transform to create a more sufficient, a more efficient, and a more sustainable transport system for the globe. But it's also something that we build into the products. Today, software and systems is the majority of products, not only on vehicles like the NXT here, but also on the so-called normal trucks that you will be able to test drive later on today. We put in a lot of effort into the platforms around software and systems in these vehicles. And the amount of PC computer power that there is in a normal truck today is much more than you could ever imagine. It's of course something we embed also in the services. It is the software and system side, very much because today we bundle products and services. We don't sell a vehicle per se. We sell a cost per kilometer, which is a solution where products and services are bundled. We used, of course, the systems and software also in the development to help ourselves to develop products in R&D, and we use it also in our production. So you can say in our industrial system. We have a few kilometers away from here, we have Scania's Smart Factory Lab, where we are testing new technology in our real operation, where we are assembling the final assembly of our vehicles. Things like how do we work next to a robot, side by side? How do we work with AGVs that are moving around in the factory without drivers and so on? New technology are tested. And of course, all of this is depending on software and system. So you can say that it is an enabler for us for innovation, but it's also something that's built into our product offering to our customer, our value proposition, and the way we work. Data is of course also important here. We need to collect data, we need to use the data in the way to provide and build the software, of course, but also to build real application. That's where we create the customer value. Today, in the TRATON group, roughly 50% of our development efforts goes into software and solutions. So it's a majority of our effort. And around 30% that was mentioned before of our R&D engineers are coming with or working with software development. I was mentioning before that a few years ago we had a tough competition in this sector to attract people, especially with other competitors like Amazon, Apple, Google, and so on. But today, I think you would agree with me, Joachim, it's a different situation where autonomous vehicles, for example, is an attraction for engineers to come and join us. So today it's actually much, much better. And we have some super talent in our companies today. We're going to talk more about this later on. But Joachim, over to you then.
As you said, the new technologies really attracts people to come to us, which is of course very important if we're going to be able to deliver. Talking about these technologies, we often talk about the ACE technologies, the autonomous, connected and electrified. And one of the main fields here for software system is of course connectivity as such. And the more complicated and sophisticated our system becomes in this area, the more possibilities arise to drive truly smart transport solutions together with our customers to kind of a new level, to be honest. Connectivity as such, if you look at that specific domain, it's kind of part of the history. I mean, we have had connected units for quite a long time in our vehicles, collecting the data that we are now using to build even better products. But it's a fundament.
We have around 900,000 vehicles now in the larger group of TRATON that are connected.
That's connected at the moment. And that creates, of course, a lot of valuable data for the customer itself, but also for us. And so this connectivity part is really a fundament. And it's also an enabler for the future for even more exciting innovations like the autonomous vehicles. But connectivity is a fundamental part of being able to do a true and good autonomous vehicle. And talking about autonomy, of course, as a group, we are right now developing a common autonomous platform, a scalable platform that will be used through all of our brands together. Our focus here is, as we have already said, it's what we refer to as a SAE level 4, which then would mean then a driverless vehicle with certain constraints. That is, it will not be a free running vehicle running anywhere, but it will have some constraints. We are talking about mines. Harbors, some point-to-point connections on highways, etc. And this platform that we are now designing consists of a lot of advanced sensors, as you can see on this vehicle and the vehicle outside. Actuators, they are not that easy to spot maybe. Control units and software in multiple layers. And again, that's enormous, to be honest. That's by far the most advanced systems that we will ever put in our, so far at least, has put in a vehicle. I should not say ever, because I don't know that, I can't say that, but so far put in a vehicle. And it's a truly enormous development effort from our side. And due to this effort that we have ahead of us, we see need for a new kind of partners. But of course, partners are important, but also we have the resources in the group which can bundle and solve this case.
Together.
Yes. Yeah. So you mentioned that already about our effort that we're spending here, and if you go more deeply into autonomy, we can see that we have like more than 400 people at the moment working in this area within the group. And Henrik, we talked about this earlier, that 400 might not seem that many.
No, but of course this is a real statement of a powerhouse. I mean, if you look at some of the California-based companies working with this, and you look at how many people are working specifically in this autonomous area, this is a very high number.
And there's twice as many as many other companies in this area. So this is a true challenge, and also we're spending resources here. We also, to be able to gain efficiency from these teams working now, a lot of people, we need to work according to new development methods and to reach the market in time and fulfill the customer needs, of course. So again, agile has been mentioned today, but we also have to scale that one. So we get a more scale agile way of working, focusing then on dedicated customer initiatives. We have mentioned that, and that's why we had the customers here today. And we have to be driven by their needs and their expectations, and that's why we want to involve them here. We want to learn and gain knowledge together with our customer as soon as possible. So the plan now is to have a platform for the group able to be ready to operate in what we say then hub-to-hub mode, a level 4 use case, on the market at latest by 2024. That is the on-road part. But of course we are already right now have prototype systems running on confined environments like salt mines, Australia, and so on. So that's also important to gain knowledge together with our customers.
Exactly. So this is sort of more a scalable platform, but already today we have use cases, and some of you might remember I've been part of a demonstration here at Scania, or participated 2 years ago in the Innovation Day for TRATON in Hamburg. We talked about these vehicles going to Rio Tinto for a salt mine in Australia, where these ones are in sort of real-life customer operation as we speak. And that is, of course, a vehicle built on the conventional vehicle with sensors and so on, but still with a cab on the vehicle. Where we are today is different. And I don't know if you've been out already to see the demonstration, but otherwise, here is a teaser of how it looks today.